Welcome to Saturday Morning DOOGER. It's been so long. When was the last time I streamed? Tuesday morning? Or like Tuesday afternoon? Oh my god. Wild. It's basically been months. It's been forever. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Literal months. Years of no cat gang. Wild. I'm feeling weird. I just have one of those like persistent coughs that doesn't go away and sounds terrible. So if I'm coughing a lot today, I'm really sorry. I'm going to try to not cough, but if I need to cough, I'll try to preemptively like mute, you know? No. I immediately just fucking smashed my hand into my coffee. And now you can hear my old man wheeze. Oh my god. Well. Oh wow. Oh wow. That was very funny. Oh. Oh god. I tried. Of course, the second that I say that, I do something that makes me laugh, which makes me cough. So, off to a very good start. Hold on, I'm just going to mute myself and just get all of it out. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, what's up? I haven't been here for a few days because I've been sick. So I decided to rest a bunch. And I feel way better. It is not COVID. But basically all of us, it's Sam's turn now. He's starting to cough a little bit. So, yeah, it's just one of those little head colds that turns into a cough. There's been no sore throat, no fever, no like excessive exhaustion or anything like that. It's just this stupid cough and a little bit of congestion. So, yeah, could be much worse, but I'm in that really cool stage where you cough and sometimes you cough stuff up. So yeah, just standardly sick, but it sounds really intense. The cough sounds really intense. Cool sweater. Where's the shirt from? This is another Manda sweater. I think these are sold out currently. But she's done like extra runs of this design specifically before. God, Sam and I must drum up so much business for Manda. Not that she needs it. Where is your store? Store.amps. There it is. There you go. That's Amanda. She does all the like splash screens and stuff for Sam's stream. And they play Monster Hunter together and stuff sometimes. But yeah. But she's good people. Excellent artist. Sam also has the black version of this. Yeah. And he's got like the t-shirts. I have one of the t-shirts. The reason I'm wearing this right now, you can probably tell this is not my size. The reason I'm wearing this right now is because this morning Sam came in and I was like, okay, I'm getting up in a minute because it's cold. It's like really overcast and like pouring rain right now. I was like, it's just a little cold. I'll get up in a second. And he was like, do you want my sweater? Because I've been wearing it so it's warm. And I was like, yes. Yes, please. So that's how I wound up. That's how I met your mother. Not my size is the best size. I agree. I buy most things. Like, I think if people meet me in person and they try to guess what size shirt I wear, they would go, a small. I will, unless if it's like a unisex design, which is my preference anyway, I'll get a small then. But if it's like designed for like a small feminine body, I don't like the smalls. They're normally too form-fitting. They're uncomfortable, so I always get a medium. And like you go to the rack, right? Say you know, just pretend with me that we're all buying clothes at stores right now. You go to the rack and there's 2 sizes below a small. Like who? Like what? If you have those kind of petite, you know, of the Feywild kind of body types like my mom does, power to you. The extra smalls of the world, assuming that you are an extra small because that is just your body type and you're, you know, in a healthy place. Wild to me. Extra small for cats. Oh my God. I was talking with my mother-in-law and she was telling me that because we were talking about chickens, because everybody's asking me about chickens now, which is great. I keep sending like videos to my family members and stuff, and people will text me and be like, how are the girls? How are the ladies? But my mom was like working on some stuff and Sam was like, if you want to come by and see the chickens, you can. And she was like, maybe I will. So I like let them out to graze and she just sat out there with them by herself for a while. It was very cute. But she was talking about the ex-battery chickens that she used to have, and a lot of birds in general that have been through some trauma have lost a lot of their feathers. And so she was like just describing, you know, what the birds were like and how she introduced them to the other chickens that she already had. And she was like, yeah, and then, you know, I made all of them little sweaters. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. And she was like, yeah, I just made all of them a bunch of clothes. It's like, I love that. I love that so much. That's so cute. Right? Very precious. Let's get our channel points open. There she is. There she is, Miss America. 4 days ago. Oh my God. Rehacked. Okay, great. There you go. I am feeling better. I'm feeling much better. I've just got this cough that sounds like I'm a 90-year-old man who's been working in the coal mines my whole life. Yeah, the laugh is good. The wheezy laugh. So the third chicken has been kind of like named by Clark. Here's the sad thing though, is Sam thought of a name, but I think Clark is like fully committed to the name Bergie now. So So now Sam is like, well, what if we want to get more? And I'm like, so that I think Sam is now like, well, we have to get another chicken now at some point. But I guess like, again, my mother-in-law, she had 10 chickens and they had a fox attack when Sam was a kid. And a bunch of the chickens didn't make it, but one of the chickens attacked the fox to get him to leave everybody else alone, and that chicken's name was Roxy. And so everybody always talks about Roxy, like Roxy was the best chicken. Like what an icon. What a fucking, like, she beat the shit out of that fox. So Sam was like, oh, I should have named my chicken Roxy. And then he was outside with Clark when I was like, I'm not going outside. When I was just, deep in the sickness, Clark really wanted to go outside and hang out with the chickens. So Sam was like, okay, let's go outside. And they let the chickens out, and they were playing outside for a while and hung out with the chickens. And Sam was like, Mrs. Hudson's the best one. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, she's the only one that like isn't scared of all of us. And I was like, well, Sam, this is literally the first time you're interacting with the chickens right now. It makes sense that the other chickens don't know what to do with you. You're a big man. You're a big old dude. So yeah, so he's decided he really likes Mrs. Hudson because Mrs. Hudson doesn't give a fuck and was just following them around and let them both touch her and stuff. The other two chickens are like super chill with me, but they see me every day, right? And they're pretty chill with Clark, but they don't let Clark touch them. So Sam was like, nah, Mrs. Hudson's the best one anyway. We'll get another chicken. We'll name it Roxy. I saw on Twitter you have an igloo. What do you think of the run? So the only problem with the run, I really like it, especially we got like camping pegs to like basically make it so the run can't be lifted by anything. But yeah, and I've been moving it around every couple of days. So moving it isn't too big of a pain in the ass. It's like, it's not super easy, but it's fine. I'm just moving it because, the chicken poop is like really caustic on the grass. So I only let the chicken poop sit in one spot for like 2 days. But to that point, the run is like, is perfect for chickens that get let out pretty much every day, which ours do. The big issue is that if you do want to be scooping up the poop, if you do want to be getting rid of the poop every day, you can't reach in there. It's not person height, right? It's chicken height. So I can't even get in there. So I can't scrape up the big clumps of poop and get them off the grass until I've moved the run. So in the future, like future us, when we have more space, I would love to have a run that you can walk into, and do a bit more with it that way and have a bit more control over the area. But yeah. In terms of like, how is the igloo in general? It's really beginner friendly. Again, I haven't had chicken since I was a kid. We had a huge coop that was used for, at one point in my childhood, it was used for rabbits. At one point in my childhood, it was used for chickens, right? And it was like a big wooden thing, and you could walk in, and we had a bunch of them, and yeah. But like, as somebody who is having chickens for the first time as an adult, it's really nice because like closing the coop up is super easy. Opening the back of the coop is super easy. Ours is an igloo go, I think is what they're called. So it's like, it's a smaller one. It's perfect for like 3 or 4 hens. especially now that I have them and I know that when they're in there, they're literally just like in each other's space. I look in there sometimes and I'm like, are they in there? They're literally just, they've shoved themselves into a corner. They're like on each other at all times. It's so funny. But yeah, like cleaning it, all of that sort of stuff, really, really easy, especially if you have like a pressure washer. I still haven't been able to get my pressure washer to work properly. I want to this weekend so that I can give it like a really good clean. But I've just been going out there every day and like I change out all of the bedding. I've got a washcloth out there and a spray bottle, and I spray the whole thing down and I wipe the whole thing down and thank the chickens for the eggs if there are eggs in there. But it's a process, but I don't mind it. It's actually really nice and peaceful. The poop thing is a pain. I was a design engineer for the omelet. No way. The add-on wheels and the pressure washing is the way to go. The wheels, yeah, I saw the wheels in a video and I was like, ooh, that's real smart. Wheels. I've also noticed, oh my God, maybe you can explain part of this to me, because I've also seen forum posts about this and it's very confusing. I've noticed that on the inside of the door, there's, it says webcam with two like kind of pilot holes almost. Did they plan at some point to like design a coupe webcam and it just never happened? Because mine isn't like the new one by any means. It's been used a few times. That's for the auto door. The auto door? What is that? Oh, to let your chickens out in the morning. But it's on the back. It's not on the front door. It's on the back. I'm just confused. I do know that some coupes have like doors that auto open and auto close. But yeah. Scary Spice, our oldest chicken, Scary Spice, died the other day. We think she was 10 years old. Oh, chickadee. I know they're going down the automated route. Interesting. We have, oh, God, I was about to say this and make everybody think that it had to do with the chickens. It doesn't. We do not have mites with the chickens. I have mite powder. I have a mite spray for when I like deep clean the coop. There's no mite problems with the chickens. But what I was about to say is, guys, we've got mites, not with chickens. But in the vermicomposter in our worm farm. So this is a normal issue, a totally normal issue that happens with first-time worm farms. Is you feed them, you give them too much food, and they're not in a place yet where they are able to eat the amount of food that you're giving them. I've tried to be pretty good about taking food out of there if it seems like it's too dense or they're not getting through it or they don't want it. But it can happen with like an overly moist condition. Like if the soil is too wet, sometimes the food has to do with that, etc. So, yeah. So I went looking it up because I opened it up and the pieces of banana that we had put in there, because I know that banana and banana peels are really good for it. And Clarky didn't eat all of her banana. So I was like, great, I'll just put the rest of that banana in there for them. Put the banana in, checked it again in the evening, and there were these itty bitty little white dots all over the bananas. And I was like, I don't think those are baby worms. I don't think those are baby worms. What the fuck are those? So I went to look it up and I was like, you've got mites. Normal problem. So I guess like the issue is they are going to be fighting the worms for food. So they're going to be eating things that the worms would normally eat. Pretty much everywhere that I looked was like, honestly, just leave your composter alone for like a week or two and it'll sort itself out, because the mites will die. If you're not putting more food in there, the mites will eventually die. The worms will start to eat more, because you're not putting more food in there, right? They'll like actually get through the food that you've given them. And then by the time you actually put food in there, they'll be hungry for new food. So I guess we're just going to leave it alone and let them have their bug war and let them destroy the mites and thrive. But I have been seeing a bunch of baby worms in there, which is very cute. What if the worms lose? Yes, this is the trailer for Rotting Moss season 2. Oh, goodness. What if the mites have allies? Oh my God. You think there's other shit going on in there? Dude, but those potatoes, oh my God. I did not realize. I knew that like that whole potatoes, I know that the old school way of growing potatoes is literally just throw potatoes on the ground and cover them up with some like straw or something and be like, go for it, baby. And they do, because they just grow roots all over, right? They're tubers. But I didn't, so we had like a couple bits of potato, but we're not cooked, not anything, right? So they were safe to put in the composter. We put them in there and the worms didn't eat them at all. So it's like 3 or 4 pieces of potato that we threw in there. Worms didn't even touch it. But I opened it up and I was like, I think it's about time that I tried to aerate this thing. This was a couple days ago. I think it's about time that I like aerated it, because they need the oxygen and everything. So I went to aerate this top tray with the wormies in it, and was like, why can't I move some of this dirt? And the reason was because there were a bunch of roots in there. And I was like, what is growing? So I like gently pulled. I realized there were a couple like little like leafy bits sticking out of the dirt because something was growing in there. And I was like, what the fuck is growing in here? So pulled it out. And literally imagine like a small like chopped up piece of potato, like a diced potato almost. And it was growing roots out of the whole thing. I was like, what the fuck? Found like 4 of those. So I've now planted those in a grow bag, because they've got a head start at life. I've planted those in a grow bag. But the other thing that I noticed was we put a carrot top in there, and the carrot top started to grow. It's fascinating. I love it. It's like, this is also so fun that you could put things in there and then they could potentially just start growing, right? Because there's seeds and all kinds of stuff going on in there. Essentially, like, if I was going to cook potatoes, I would put seasoning on them, oil, right? You don't want any of that shit in your composter. Herbs, fine. But like generally the sort of shit that goes down when you're cooking stuff, and the sort of thing that you would be adding to it is not stuff that you want in your composter. You don't want oils, you don't want fats, none of that sort of stuff. We have a mystery pot where we dump leftover seeds and roots, and it's always fun to see what pops up. I That was always like my favorite part of uh of starting the new garden the next year in Oregon. Because we have like, honestly, considering the amount of land that we have, uh my parents were very prudent with like the amount of space that they dedicated to like a garden. So they were like, we don't want to, we're not going to be fucking with like an acre of garden, right? Like that's not going to happen. So it's like a decent sized thing to have a couple tomato plants, some squash, some pepper plants. There's plenty of space for just a couple of people to grow everything that they would need. But it's always so fun because my dad like really put in the effort to make sure that the soil mix was really good when they first started the garden, right? He was like, okay, I want to make sure that, it's equal parts this and this and this, we're getting some loam in there, like whatever, to like really give the garden a good chance. And so each year they just till the whole thing up and then replant in it. And yeah, there's stuff that they like specifically put in certain spots, but there'll be like lettuce popping up all over the place, little baby zucchini plants, like just shit all over the place. It just pops up and it's so fun to see what comes back. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking that like because again, the worms currently can't eat all of the vegetation that I want to be composting. So I think one of the plant boxes, one of the planter boxes that we used last year doesn't have anything in it yet, and I'm thinking about literally just starting to add stuff to it and just calling it an outdoor compost and just being really cash about it. I'm feeling so much better. Clark has been bouncing off the walls for like 3 days. Um, she has so much energy. And when you're sick and your kid is not sick anymore, it's impossible to keep up with them. Um, my period also started. So the reason that I also took yesterday off is because I was like, I'm not fucking with this like combination of shit that's trying to go on right now. I had to call about like our car and do all of this other kind of stuff, and felt like had this cough and felt nauseous and was just like, today is not the day. This is not my comeback day. Tomorrow will be my comeback day, but I'm not doing it today. So yeah, again, I appreciate all of your guys' patience, but like it was so rough the last couple of days with Clark because I felt so bad for her because I was obviously, like more irritable than usual, and I would talk with Sam, and I kept feeling like I had to specify like there is nothing wrong with Clark. There is everything wrong with me. Clark literally just wants to play. She wants to have a good time. She's being very sweet to me. She's just getting frustrated. And uh and oh my god, she's actually like her like emotional kind of register for what frustration looks like is getting so pinpointed. It's actually amazing. Today, what was I doing? Oh my god. She was like, "Mommy, I want to cook. Mommy, can we make something? Could we make muffins?" And I was like, "Maybe we can make muffins in a little bit, honey. We're trying to get lunch together and stuff, and so maybe, after I've done work, after your quiet time, maybe we can make some muffins together." I look away to chop something up, and I hear a crash, and I look over, and she's grabbed the container that I keep our flour in. In the time that I looked away, somehow took her stool, walked it over to where the flour is, grabbed the flour, stepped down, dropped it on the ground, opened it, and had started scooping big scoops of flour out. And I was like, honey, what are you doing? I was like, honey, no. Please, just put it all away. I'll put it back where it goes. We can make muffins later. I promise. We're just not going to do it right now. And she like looked at me and looked at the ground that had flour on it now. Looked at the ground and was like, but I want to make muffins. And I was like, oh my God. So I just came over and I was like, I'm going to just pick this up and put it away. Okay. And I picked it up and I put it away. And she didn't get upset or anything. She was just kind of like watching me. And then I like walked back over to where I was doing stuff, and she came over and she was like, Mommy, I'm really sorry that I frustrated you. And I was like, that's okay, honey. I just sometimes I have like when there's suddenly a mess, you know, there's suddenly flour all over the ground, right? And I was like, sometimes when things like that happen and there's suddenly a new thing that we're going to have to clean up, it does frustrate me, especially if I was asking you, you know, not to touch the thing that caused the mess. And she was like, oh, we could clean it. And I was like, sure, yeah, we can clean it. And she like went and grabbed a towel and just like gently placed it on top of all of the flour and was like, and I was like, great job, honey. It was very cute. But stuff like that is so rewarding because, like, you know, this is like a thing that parents talk about all the time now that I feel like is not something that like our parents are really talking about a ton, which is, you know, when you are feeling an emotion, or if your kid is feeling an emotion, like identify it, right? Be like, I'm just feeling really frustrated right now. Or you seem really frustrated. Do you think you're frustrated because of this? That makes a ton of sense. Can I explain to you why I'm asking you not to do that thing? Or can I explain to you like a different thing that we could do, right? We try to do that with Clark a lot. So it's so neat for her to Uno reverse card that on me, you know, to be like, Mommy, I'm sorry that I frustrated you, or like, Mommy, are you frustrated right now, you know? And not only that also is amazing, because I hope, and I will encourage it forever, but I hope that as she gets older, she feels comfortable just asking us, like, are you angry right now? Are you frustrated right now? Because I think, at least when I was growing up, it was really difficult for me to parse out, because my dad mostly raised me. My mom was the one who worked like the 9 to 5, right? So my dad was a stay-at-home dad, and he raised me. And I was very close with both of them. I'm still very close with both of them. But like, I had a lot of moments growing up where I could not tell if he was mad at me, if he was angry at something else, and I was scared to ask, right? And I didn't know how to ask. So having her feel comfortable like asking if I'm frustrated, or saying like, I think you're frustrated right now, and giving me the opportunity to be like, oh, I'm actually, you know, or like, are you mad? And giving me the opportunity to say, oh, I'm sorry, honey. This is how I'm feeling, you know, or that kind of a thing. Anyways, all of that stuff, because all of this shit is like a long game, right? So having it start to bear fruit with like how she interacts with us is so awesome. It's so great. Totally. Oh my God. We have bedtime. Bedtime has turned into kind of like our let's talk about how today went time. I don't know why it started being that for us, but like if I feel like I was really snippy all day, you know, I will have apologized earlier in the day, but at the end of the day, I'll usually try to say something like, I'm really sorry that I was, you know, that I kept getting frustrated all day, or, you know, I'm sorry if you felt like I was being mean to you sometimes, you know, that wasn't okay. I'm really sorry about that. You know, it was because I'm not feeling well and blah, 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 blah. And then she'll like say the same sort of things to me, which is wild when I think about the fact that she's 3. But let's redirect for a second though. Last night, no, 2 nights ago, we were talking, and she was like, "Mommy, I think you are so pretty." And I was like, "Really? Thank you." And I said, "I think you're really pretty too." And she was like, "Yes, we're pretty because we're girls." And I was like, "I mean, boys can be pretty too." And she was like, "No, that's not fair. Girls can be pretty." And I was like, "Oh no." That's not fair was her first reaction. No. And I was like, "Boys can be pretty too, honey." And she was like, "No, boys are cool and girls are pretty." And I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." And so I was like, "Well, honey, I think that you're both pretty and cool, first of all." And I said, "Second of all, like, so we have a nephew named Nettie." And I was like, "I don't think that we should tell anybody, regardless. I don't think we should tell anybody whether they can be pretty or cool or whatever, because, you know, I think that that if somebody says that they want to be pretty and you tell them they're not allowed, that's going to hurt their feelings, don't you think?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "So if Nettie came over and Nettie wanted to try on one of your dresses because he wants to feel like a princess, like you like to feel like a princess, you know, would you say no?" And she was like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, you would let him try on your dress, wouldn't you?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, if Nettie wants to feel pretty, doesn't have to be with a dress, but if Nettie wants to feel pretty, we would help him try to feel pretty, right? And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "So boys can also feel pretty." And I was like, "And if River wanted to feel really cool, we would help River feel really cool, wouldn't we?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." So today, I just put her down for a nap in there. And her cousin is being babysat by my mother-in-law right now, parent bubble. And so we were talking with her, and she was like, "You know, we could do if it clears up outside, we could let the kids like hang out outside together. You know, that would be legal." She's like, "We could let the kids hang out outside together and play a little bit." And I was like, "Oh, that would be so lovely," because they like never get to see each other. And so I had mentioned it to Clark, like maybe if the weather clears up a little bit, we could do an outdoor thing with River and see her, like, you know, at Nanny's house or at the park or something. And Clark was like, "And then we could talk about how boys and girls are pretty." I was like, "Sure, you could teach them about how boys and girls can both be pretty. Absolutely. If that's the topic that you want to broach with your cousin." It was very cute. I know the weather's been terrible today, so it's probably not going to happen, but this is like when I had to explain that princesses could save princes to my daughter. It blew her mind. It's so interesting because this sort of stuff, it really ramps once your kid goes to school. she's just surrounded by a bunch of other kids, right? And so, you know, she picks things up or she gets told things by other kids, and then takes it home, right? And internalizes some of it, and it comes out eventually. And I try to do my due diligence and always ask her lots, even if I don't get a lot of answers. I try to ask her lots of questions about how, you know, how preschool went, how it is at nursery, you know, who she plays with, which adults, you know, she likes. Do all of the adults make her feel safe? All of that sort of stuff. And yeah, and you just, you know, some of the kids are just talking shit. It's just how it is. Coughed up a thing. One sec. Kids do be talking shit. They do. Kids do be talking shit. Looking forward to when she starts up her own girl gang. I do not recommend that any kids start a girl gang. I feel bad for the girl gang that I was involved with.
You fine, cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
I was in when I was in kindergarten and first grade. I think first grade specifically. When I was in first grade, I was part of like a recess gang of kids that were all girls of some type and description, and we chased the boys around because we were sick of their shit. And I don't recommend it. It was very toxic. I've said before, there's a kid that when we stopped doing it, because at a certain point we stopped doing it, and there was a kid that I hung out with a lot, and he at lunch one time was like, hey, how come you guys like stopped chasing us around? I really liked that. And I was like, oh no, we unlocked something in this kid. Oh shit. Oh, dude. So, but yes, I was part of a weird little girl gang in first grade. How's life in the UK? I might be traveling there again sometime this year. Maybe we could see each other finally. The pulls pigtails because I like you mentality. Oh my God. I was thinking about that because there's a kid that Clark talks about all the time. But it's never positive. It's always like, this kid pushed me, or this kid like took my toy, or, you know, it's always that kind of stuff. And I'm always like, did he apologize? And she's like, no. I'm like, did you tell him that you didn't like that? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, good. You're at least, you know, telling him like, hey, fuck you, dude. That was my toy. And, you know, I'm always like, if a kid is just in, you know, more kid-friendly terms, I usually take the stance of like, look, if that kid's a piece of shit, you don't have to play with him. He sucks. But I hate that, like, there's definitely a non-zero number of people who would hear that and be like, oh, he must like her. Like, fuck that. I hate that shit. Dude. I'll bring Dutch snacks for you and your shadow fighter. I love it. You can meet the chickens. I can't wait for when a toy gets taken from Clark and she says, fuck you, dude. Look, if they call me and they're like, hey, we had a situation with Clark. She told another kid to fuck off because they kept taking her toy. I would be like, They should probably stop taking her toy. God. Oh, Jesus. Are your chickens fans of being pet? They're getting more used to being touched. They're still pretty young, but we spend a lot of time around them. Mrs. Hudson, our black one, she's actually the youngest, but she's by far the bravest one, and will totally let us like pet her and stuff. So. The cough doesn't hurt or anything. It's like, because I'm at the expectorant stage where stuff is just getting coughed up, right? Occasionally I'll breathe in and I can feel there's something in there that my body is like, I'm trying to get rid of this right now. So if you could just give me a few good hacks, that would be great. We have 3 chickens. Mrs. Hudson, Rosie Posey, and Bergie. Yeah, it's cute. How often do they lay eggs? So one of them is consistently laying eggs, strong eggs. Our very first egg that we got had no yolk in it. We got 2 more eggs. We hard boiled them and put them in a tuna salad. And one of them was a double yolk. Good luck, baby. But they're all, I'm pretty sure, from the same chicken, because something that keeps happening is I'll go to swap out their bedding and there's like a raw egg there. And then if I look long enough, I will find the shell, but the shell is basically paper. So one of them is laying eggs, but the shell is like non-existent basically. And so they immediately break. So that I'm assuming is probably Mrs. Hudson because she's the youngest one. But yeah. How do you make sure there aren't babies in the eggs? They're not getting fertilized. Eggs are essentially menstruation. They're chicken periods. There's no babies in there. Don't say that. It's the truth. It's like the easiest way for somebody to understand. Like, there's no possibility of you eating a baby chicken in there. They're just eggs. they're just eggs from inside of the chicken that are unfertilized that have to come out the same way that it happens for us. Not the same way, obviously. I wish that in my situation it could all just be like packaged up in a shell and I could just toss it. That would be great.
Well, good. You fine, loving,
But
coffee drinking burrito babe.
But yeah. We give our chickens organic layer pellets to help give them vitamins for stronger shells and other chickeny goodness. I don't know. Brittle eggshell, is that common? It sounds bad. It's common for a really young chicken that is like just laying eggs for the first time. Yeah. Yeah. Like their bodies are still developing how to create eggs. So this is normal stuff. It's not bad. I give them really good food, and they're out grazing all the time. They're eating all kinds of stuff. You know, they're fine. They're getting lots of different types of, you know, vitamins and whatever. I give them a really good rock mix that has some like shells and stuff inside of it, to give them extra boost of like calcium and whatever. So yeah, they're getting stuff that they need for sure. This is just because one of them is really young, and I think she's trying to lay eggs, and it's not always going great, and that's totally fine. Chickens don't have teeth, so they store harsh things, rocks typically, in their gizzards, and it helps them break down food. So one of the things when you have chickens, one of the things that you have to have available for them, I literally just sprinkle it on the ground next to their pellets, next to the thing that holds their pellets, because they can find them on their own. But you need to have some kind of like a rock mix, and you can either like buy one that has a bunch of like stuff other than rocks in it, which is what I did because they were my new chickens and I wanted them to have lots of good stuff to eat. Or you can literally just get them like a really small mix of rocks, which is like no money whatsoever.
Coffee drinking burrito babe.
I'm learning a lot about chickens. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. They're sweethearts. I do have the cough. Yeah. Clarky had the cough, and then she gave me the cough, and now Sam's developing the cough. Mwah. I mean, if you've never had chickens, there's no reason for you to understand how chickens work. You know, I don't fault anybody for not knowing what eggs are, for not knowing how any of that works. You know, I don't expect everybody in chat to have like an intimate understanding of the cloaca and how all that shit happens, or gizzards and why they're there, or any of that. There's no reason to have that knowledge unless you have an interest in chickens or you've had chickens before, right? So all of this is taught in schools here as a kid. Oh, not where I grew up. But I guess, you know, but I grew up in farm country. So
Welcome.
there might have just
Fine
been an
cat
expectation
loving
that we all knew it. Hobbsy, thank you very much. Welcome to the Cat Gang. I appreciate the subscription. Also to Shanky Pie, welcome to the Cat Gang.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Fine cat loving coffee drinking.
This week is Deaf Awareness Week.
Welcome.
So if you do exclamation point ad bonus in chat, you'll notice that we have our charity for this month. I was delighted that a couple of different people reached out and said that that this specific group, the National Deaf Children's Society in the UK, was really helpful to them when they were a kid, which was wonderful, and that they also do family days to go and like see what they're all about and all of that, which is really cool. But yeah. We are BSL learning. So this was suggested because we've been doing sign language pretty much like every day. Oh yeah. Oh my God. My high school, probably our biggest club, including sports, in my high school was 4-H. Yep. There were big like posters of people standing next to their horses and shit. 4-H is like farming competitions basically. There's nothing wrong with 4-H. No, I think that if you know what 4-H is, it gives you a really good snapshot on what that school is all about. Yeah, FFA, Future Farmers of America. Yeah. I have still never been able to take Sam to our local rodeo.
Fine, cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
I was talking with my mom, and she was like, "If you guys are able to get out here this summer, you know, if
fine, cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
Just like somehow it works out that way." She was like, "You could time it and be able to take Sam to the Buckaroo." I was like, "Sam, I think, would rather die than go to the Buckaroo, which means I have to take him." I worked the rodeo every year of high school, and it was always awful. And it was always terrible. I've never smelled so much beer in my life. Get Sam a giant cowboy hat. I don't think I need to buy him one. I think we've got plenty at my house in Oregon. Yeah, we've all got a head cold in this house. It's not COVID, but it has a nasty cough with it. Oh, I saw friends today in person. It feels so surreal, but it was the best, dude. As of right now, I've only seen my in-laws in person. Back when first lockdown was loosening up, my sister-in-laws were taking Clark for walks in the park a couple of times. But I've only seen my in-laws in person in the last year. That's pretty buck wild. God, what has this last year been, dude? Anyways, let's get off of that topic. That's not a fun topic for anybody. Redirect. The wedding. You're right. We did go to a social distance wedding, so I did see everybody there. That's true. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. That was so surreal as well. With each chair, like so far away from each other. Yeah, it was really sad to not be able to go to JP and Aaron's wedding, but legally we couldn't go. We would have had to Sam basically would have had to like fib that he was related in some way or something. Like there's very strict reasons to go to a wedding in America right now when you're not from there. So but yeah, Aurelian? Yeah. Yes. So Sam would have gone to this wedding pretending he was related somehow. Um which we were like, we can't all go, right? If both of us are stuck in quarantine on the way back and we don't know how long we have to be there, like, that's so much time for Clark to not be with us. That's not okay, right? So we were like, okay, if one of us is able to go legally, it should be Sam, because Sam was going to be a groomsman in the original wedding, right?
Welcome, you fine cat.
So
Coffee
Sam was looking into it and was like, okay, I would have to convince them that I was related or that I was extremely necessary to the wedding. And then on the way back, I would be quarantined for a few days. Not sure exactly how long. I would have to get a COVID test done, like all of this other stuff. So it was like I definitely would miss Clark's birthday, all kinds of things. So it just wound up. There were too many variables where it was like we just don't know how long Sam would be gone, and we already did that kind of a thing with me going back to like sort out my visa before COVID was even an issue, right? So we were just kind of like, I don't really want to do anything like that again. Oh gosh, Michael, I'm so sorry. Did they stream the wedding? I don't think so. I don't think so, or we would have known about it. Yeah, well, like, so, uh, one of my best friends, Jeannie, who comes in here fairly often. Love you, Jeannie. Jeannie and Isaac, got courthouse married with the intention of having like a big wedding later, which is what Sam and I did, but we did it because England has all kinds of like weird laws about like what you can and can't do at your wedding if you're not actually married yet. So we got married in America and were able to get the green card process started ahead of time, and then had our wedding a little bit later, right? Um, and for them, it turned into, well, I guess we'll just wait until everything is safe, and then we'll just have a big blowout reception in like a year or two, because we're already married and everybody knows that we're already married, and it's like, we don't need to do the ceremony part of it, even though it would be fun. It'll be a lot less stress if, when we know everything is okay, we just throw a big party for the people who would have been at the wedding, kind of a thing. Totally. That's the thing, right? Is like when I talk to my mom as well, is, yeah, we can talk about us trying to visit in summer. Obviously, I want to try to visit as soon as I'm able, but not if it's a situation where I don't know if we can get back. Um, I want I need guarantees. I need guarantees that we can go there and see them, and I can ugly cry all over my parents and spend some time with them, but that when we need to come home, we can come home, and it's not going to be like a big to do, you know? And by a big to do, I mean like that we're going to be able to actually just go home when we need to go home. So yeah. Let's do a little ad break. Yes. Yeah. I will be putting together other songs. The ones that we recorded during the subathon did not turn out very good, I don't think. So I haven't gone through the process of like turning them into actual songs that we can use during ad breaks. So I know a couple of you guys have echoed the feelings that the dan dana is getting old. I totally get that. I want to rotate it out with other songs. Um but but yeah. um yes, so Telly taught me the happy song. And I was trying to remember part of it, but it's this is my happy song. I like to sing it all day long. I'll teach you the words and you can sing along. I do sign along. Sing along. Happy, happy, happy. I'll have to rewatch the video. I can't remember it. Was that it? Yeah, well, I was describing the chickens. So, we have 3 chickens now. We bought 3 chickens 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And so I was going through like the first chicken. She's black, and her name is Mrs. Hudson. My finger spelling is not good right now. I'm still like getting better at finger spelling. For some reason, the vowels, because it's AEIOU, I get tripped up here. I don't remember which one is which in the moment, and I think it's going to be a combination of like just repetition and muscle memory to like not be overthinking it. But yeah. Second one, she's gray and white, and her name is Rosie Posey. Posey. And the third one is Ginger and Gray, and her name is Bergie. These two I get mixed up. Bergie. Can you hand sign Coco Melon songs? No, not yet. I'm a baby. I'm learning BSL, but I know a little. I don't know a lot yet. But I mean, we sign I think this is every day. I can't remember if it's forward or backwards, but yeah, we sign every day on stream. This is show. I've started using that for stream. So like my show basically. But yeah, it's very fun, and we're all learning it together. And yeah, things to keep in mind are that all sign languages are different. The one that I'm learning and practicing every day is BSL, but depending on where you live, there's definitely resources. The internet is beautiful. There's definitely resources to be able to learn one that is used in your country, and maybe all of us can at least know some greetings and things, to be able to connect with the deaf and hard of hearing community in our world. So every day is forward like this. Back of your hand. This. God. There's tons of sign language TikTokers. I used to only follow ASL. I still follow the ones who do ASL. But the ones that I primarily watch are BSL signers now. Like this. Sorry, Telly. ASL and BSL are very different. They're completely different languages. So even though you might say like, but both of those countries speak English, the sign language has been developed in totally different countries, like separate from one another. And so, they're going to wind up completely different. The signs are going to be totally different. The sign language bases that they pull from are different languages as well. So is there a reason for them to be different? It's for the same reason that verbal languages are different. These, again, I'm not part of the deaf and hard of hearing community, and I am a new learner of sign language, so I don't want to speak for them. But in the interest of you guys maybe looking into it yourselves, if you're interested in educating yourselves about it, from my understanding, it's a combination of a lot of things, not just the fact that these sign languages are developing in their own countries, but also imagining like the number of people in the community that are using it. Some things are occurring in kind of a vacuum, right? So even in England, or wherever BSL is frequently used, there are huge regional differences. So even though the base like BSL is mostly the same, there are lots of signs that are totally different, because in those communities, they've developed their own slang or adjusted signs in certain ways. And so it winds up being different even like from state to state in America, from county to county in England. And like I've said before, there's BSL, but like there's Irish Sign Language and Northern Irish Sign Language, and and they're all of these areas are really close to each other, but they technically have their own sign languages. So aw, bye Geek Jokes. Thanks for swinging by. This is my happy song. I like to sing it all day long. I'll teach you the words and you can sing along. But yeah, the hope is that I finish this course, which, to be honest, I haven't been focusing on the course as much as I should. I've been kind of like seeking out, and this is still progress, but like I've been seeking out signs for specific things and then practicing those in my off time. And the fact that we sign every day on stream, is helpful. I am practicing it pretty much every day, either on stream or with Clark. But yeah, I wanna focus on the course because I don't want to get into bad habits of the order of things. So like it took a while for me to unlearn like how to say like their name is or my name is, right? Because it's not like my name is Brooke, right? It's like name their or name my. The order is different, right? And you need to learn that stuff as well. So but yeah, the hope is that once I finish this course, I can then, if the world is opened up a bit more, I can then seek out like a community that gets together and practices sign language together. So. Yeah, I need to learn the grammar laws. The grammar rules for sign language. My name is Brooke. Yeah. My birth name, which I still love. I still love the name Brooke. I feel very fortunate about that. Either name order is fine. It's juggled about when it's questions. Oh, interesting. So there you go. Hot Brook Summer. We're doing it's Buff Brookie Summer now because people said Hot Brook Summer sounded weird. So it's Buff Brookie Summer because I had originally said that my New Year's resolution was that I was gonna get a little more buff this year. So I'm trying to get buffer emotionally, physically. I'm trying to get shit done. So far it's going really good. But aside from being sick, but I'm still getting shit done. I'm making those phone calls. I'm doing that shit. So I'm proud of myself. So yeah, Buff, Brooke, Summer. I think Telly said if it was Hot Brooke Summer, it would be Hot Brooke Summer. So we could do Hot Jessie Summer. Oh, Telly, I looked it up. Yeah, and it was either like this or it was this, and I didn't know which one made more sense, but Buff Brooks Summer. Yeah, I think I was talking about this before, but Sam got a bunch of resistance bands to make it easier for him to work out at home, without having to like break out all of the weights and things. And one of the resistance bands is literally like a 10-pound resistance band. So I just brought that inside and I've been using it all the time. Because I saw, bless TikTok, I saw a person on TikTok who was being asked like, hey, you seem really small like I am, but you're buff. How did you do that? And they were like, yo, I started with resistance bands, and showed off like a bunch of different exercises with resistance bands. And I was like, this is what I'm fucking talking about. This is what I'm fucking talking about. So. It's, dude, the sort of shit that's not, if you follow like a bunch of, because again, the TikTok algorithm is amazing. So if you follow a bunch of like, you know, femme bodybuilders or like anything like that, you get so many incredible clips of people like doing weightlifting and somebody off to the side like, that's not very ladylike. Fucking kills me. And them being like, thanks for your opinion, dude. It's either like somebody doing weightlifting and a person off to the side, you know, giving their unsolicited opinion about, you know, women weightlifting, or it's like a bunch of people kind of like silently watching in the background as a person does some weightlifting, and the second they drop it, everyone's like, yeah, that was tight. You know? I appreciate the second ones more. I feel like I have a good head start on this weightlifting shit because I have my toddler, right? And she wants to do baby RP all the time, so I'm carrying her around all the time, even though it's completely unnecessary, and she has perfectly good working legs. So, you know, she's been, you know, upping the weight over time just by merit of growing. So yeah. I feel old when I'm on TikTok. The content is just not for me. So I did not enjoy TikTok until I was on it for a couple of days, because it takes a while for it to figure out what it is that you want to see. So I've said this before, but like basically all of that my TikTok is now is like wholesome queer content and cooking videos and weightlifters. You know, it figures out what you want to see, and it stops showing you like the like top trending TikTok shit if that's not at all your vibe, which it turned out it wasn't for me. When you first open up TikTok, if you're anything like me, literally everything that's on there is like, none of this is funny. I don't like any of this. But eventually it does learn what it is that you want to see. And it's like, oh, you really like D&D jokes. And you really like those, you know, tear jerky videos about two people falling in love, you know, and having the lesbian wedding of their dreams. And you really like vegan cooking videos, and you really like, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And it'll just start only giving you that shit. So TikTok for me actually has turned out to be a really chill form of social media for me to use in comparison to literally everything else, because everything that it shows me is just like stuff that I find relaxing, because that's the stuff I engage with on the platform, you know. So yeah, totally. If you want something, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this, if you want something that's gonna like create like a safety bubble for you and not show you stuff that like stresses you out or gives you anxiety, TikTok's pretty good for that, honestly. I do follow Quincy's Tavern. Yes, yes, that's another thing that pops up a lot for me is is like positive parenting stuff. I watch a lot of that. There are a lot of like child development therapists that are on there, and also teen therapists that are on there because they've realized that it's a really good way to get information to teenagers that might need it, because a lot of them are unable to or don't have the support to be able to get to therapy, right? So there's lots of therapists on there, lots of child development sort of people on there that give really interesting information about things. So I watch a lot of that stuff as well. Lots of information, not just from therapists, but from other people who have things like ADHD, who will be like, I have ADHD, I have an issue with this. If you have an issue with this, this is something that I do, and it might help you. There's a lot of like community building sort of stuff on there where people are trying to like help each other in situations like that, to like share information, which I think is like a really, really cool part of it. Anyways, so I am delighted to say that I was very wrong about TikTok, because I thought that I was going to go on there and it was going to be fucking like prank videos and, you know, like 18 people doing the exact same dance. And guess what? That's exactly what it was at first. And now I don't see any of that. None of that is on there anymore for me. Mm-hmm. Honestly, the one who convinced me to get it is Alex Ratman, who's one of our mods, because he was like, you don't understand. There is so much good D&D shit on there. And that's what convinced me to get it and seek out specifically the D&D info. Side note, Karma in Exile and Antarin, thank you very much for redeeming our ads. We did our ad run earlier. We have a couple of Valentines. Akabara said, this Valentine is for all of you in chat to remind you to get your COVID vaccine if you're eligible and if you can. My second dose is scheduled for this coming week. Let's do this. Let's get this thing under control. Congrats. Oh my gosh, I can't wait until I can get mine. Lamia says, for Doogs, I'm glad to see you back. Thank you. Also, hi chat. I hope you're all doing well. And Red Lips Blue Veins says, to chat and Dodger, thank you for keeping me company these past few months while I've been working from home in lockdown. I go back to work in person next week. I'll catch you again in the VODs and with the odd stream. Aw, it's been a delight to have you around. Any tips on building a following on Twitch? I feel like, I was talking about this with Jesse, I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask about that, because I came to Twitch with a huge YouTube following. So I pulled a bunch of people over to Twitch from YouTube. I never built up my Twitch from scratch. So I don't feel like information that I could give about building up Twitch is coming from a place of like, you know, I started from the bottom and you can too. Like, I don't, I did YouTube for years before I started like actually putting time into Twitch. So We'll press hard to continue, get new content. Maybe one day. I don't know. I would love to do YouTube content again, but I don't. My balance right now is so good. The balance of streaming and also being a full-time parent is wonderful, which is what I wanted out of my life at this stage anyway, was to be able to work and make good money, which I do. Bless all of you. You make that happen for me. To work and make good money, and to also be able to be a full-time parent. And I can do that. It's everything that I've ever asked for. And if I tried to legitimately add YouTube back in, I think the balance would shift in a way that would not be sustainable for me. So it's not on my radar currently. I'm very happy and fulfilled doing Twitch. I enjoy Twitch a lot. I think it's very fun, and I feel really connected with my community. And I got that to a certain extent with YouTube, but not. I'm happier and more connected with Twitch, which is great. So I will continue to focus on Twitch. If there's an opening for me to do YouTube in a way where, like, this sounds awful, but where, like, the expectation from me is to just kind of, like, show up and be in a thing and the rest of it is taken care of, right? If there's, like, an editor or whatever, great. That wouldn't be the situation right now, so. Yeah, like the Daily Bite. Dude, if somebody was like, we want to do a thing, it'll go on your channel. Literally, you show up, once a week or something, and we record a bunch, and it'll be fun, but we'll take care of all of it. Definitely. Sure. Hell yeah, I would do that. At this point now, obviously, like, growth is nice because it counteracts any, what's the opposite of growth? Any not growth. Any not growth that you see, right? Because I think doing something like Twitch or YouTube, it's really easy to obsess over numbers going down. I have been very blessed with mostly plateaued viewership and subscribers, etc. I say blessed because, of course, I would love for the numbers to go up, and they do occasionally. But numbers consistently going down is very stressful. So a plateau, I'm fine with. We've hung around the same sort of numbers for a really long time. Obviously, the subathon like skewed everything in a huge way, but everything's back to where it was, and I'm okay with that. We have people coming in here all of the time being like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you since YouTube," or, "I haven't been here in forever. I just thought I'd swing by." That sort of stuff is very heartening for me because that means that people sometimes want to check in. That's amazing to me. But yeah, I am of the mindset that a plateau is fine because, again, I'm making decent money doing this. I'm able to have like kind of a quiet life with my little family and be a really involved mom and do this job from my home. And I'm very blessed in all of those ways. And I don't need a bunch of growth because I already have everything that I want. So So I can't complain. If at some point, for some reason, we grow a bunch, great. But if we continue to be at this level for a long time, that's also the dream. So yeah, my character arc is done. It's all over. Sorry, 1 second. My mother-in-law is texting me. Time to ascend to godhood. No, I'm convinced that there's going to be a turning point where where I'm in like on the cusp of the grandma zone. When I'm in the grandma zone, that's when shit's going to really take off. And people are going to be like, "Holy shit, Dodger's still doing this and she's a grandma now." That's gonna be the real shit. You're now a background character? That's fine. Yo, oh shit, I can't remember his name. The guy who plays the Falcon, his quote where he's like, "Yo, you don't want to be the main character. You want to be the side characters because the side characters are the ones that are getting shit done. They're doing all the cool shit." Anthony Mackie, thank you. We don't want to be the main characters. We had our main character arc. It's done now. Now I'm everybody else's side character. I'm not saying it's happening now. I'm saying it's going to be in 20 years or whatever. And I don't need a grandkid to feel like I've gotten to the grandma twilight of my life. It's just a vibe, It's a grandma vibe. So we just got to ride this out long enough for me to hit grandma twilight. Totally. Absolutely. We're all NPCs in other people's universe. They can't play as us, but we exist and we affect their life in one way or another. Scary. I need to assign more quests. That's true. You have to have the rewards ready. I gotta get really good at making cookies. What's the word for that? There's a word. Solips. Yeah, solipsism. Oh, I was close. Solipsism, the philosophical idea that only one's mind is sure to exist. Anything outside of one's own mind is unsure. The external world and other minds cannot be known and might not exist outside of your own mind, and there's no way to prove otherwise. Solipsism. stuff freaks me out. Sorry, we don't have to talk about it. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Sorry, guys. Uh, oh, side note. Our ad money from April, we rounded up, got $1,000. So $1,000 went to the Stop AAPI Hate GoFundMe. So that's wonderful. I donated that this morning. 1,000 smackaroonies. Yeah, we normally get around that. Anywhere from like, again, I always round up to the nearest 100. So anywhere from 800 to 1,000 is normally where we settle on ad money, which is great. That's a lot to donate each month. So. Your eyeball money. It's doing shit. Oh, Pumbaa. I'm sorry. Ferrets are lovely. If we don't get ads, but we want to pitch in, how is the best way? So if you do !ad bonus, it was requested, I think in month 2 when we started doing this, that I always link to where the money is going. So you can check it out yourself if you're a subscriber and you're not getting ads, but you would like to donate to wherever our money is going for that month. You can check out the website yourself, decide if it's something that you would like to contribute money to, and you can donate directly to them. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the reasons that that I like doing it this way with the ad money. It requires nothing out of you guys. Any of you guys who see ads, just by virtue of sitting through the ad, it generates money that we donate. So it's cool. It all works out. We don't have a list of the charities we've done before. I should put something like that together because eventually I'm going to forget where all of our money has gone. But yeah, essentially the reason that we started doing this was because I signed an exclusivity contract with Twitch, which is amazing, which means that we get extra money each month. So all of that's going toward a house fund for us. But the requirement for us to sign with Twitch was that we have to run ads. So I said, okay, I'm super down to do that. And I signed the contract that requires like more ads than I would normally feel comfortable with. But I think that we've developed a good way to do it. We only run ads during breaks or during the ad breaks that people redeem. And all of the money is donated. So. I do not select the ads. So sometimes people get ads for really weird shit. Oh my God. I hit a point yesterday or the day before where I almost was like, fuck it, I'm going to cut my own hair. Because as it is, we're having to wait until June to do the foxtails. And I was like, what if I just did it myself? It would not look good, but it would be done. But June is so soon. I know, but it also like kind of feels very far away. It's not a good idea. I should not do it. Your hair's 3-tone right now. It looks like it was meant to be an ombre, but all of this is grow out. All of this is grow out from like a year and a half ago, which is pretty wild. Is this the longest your hair has been? No, I think my hair got a little longer than this before I cut it last time. It's long for me though. I don't feel I like it, to be honest. Um I don't hate it. I think that it's nice. I just want to change, and we did the subathon and I have to cut my hair anyway for the subathon, so part of me is like, what if I just did the bangs? I could just do the bangs and then wait on the rest. I had my spouse give me a cut. I thought, how bad could anyone cut hair? And the answer is hilariously bad. I will never ask him for another haircut. Amazing. Isn't that the most dangerous part to do yourself? I don't know. I cut my own bangs a lot in high school and college. Do you want short hair? Yeah, hair grows back. Until it doesn't, but you know. Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, when I first started YouTube, I had what we called foxtail hair. And I said if we got 10,000 subs during my subathon, that I would do foxtail hair again. So the three important things for the foxtail hair, four actually, the four important things for this hair that are necessary for it to count are chunky bangs. How long ago is this? This was 2005. Chunky bangs, long white bits in the front that come down to like here-ish, white bits in the front, the foxtails, kind of short shaggy hair in the back, and then all of this aside from the front has to be a bright color. Those are the four things that I guaranteed I would do to fully do foxtail hair again. So I'm gonna do, because so much of our old art and everything, I did red a lot, or like shades of red or orange or whatever. I did that a lot. So I'm going for that, like a reddy orange color. But that's why I'm like, oh, I could just do the bangs. I could just do the bangs now. But I'll probably, bangs aren't fashionable anymore. Yeah, you think I don't fucking know that? Also, I know a lot of people who have super cute bangs, and I don't really give a shit what's fashionable or not. But I don't like bangs on myself a ton, but I'm just gonna fucking deal with it. Like, I think they just make me look so young. I think they make me look so young. Like, just imagine. Just pretend. How fucking young do I look? Imagine if I had just, like, sweeped to the side bangs right now. It makes me look so young. Which is why I grow them out. It's really bizarre. Yeah, it's some kind of crazy witchcraft. This is the only again, I have friends like Kristen, holy shit, pulls off bangs like a queen. Like I love bangs on a lot of people, and I think like fashion-wise, they come and go every like 1 or 2 years, so who gives a shit, right? I think a lot of people look really cute with bangs. I have like a personal vendetta against bangs for myself because I think they instantly transport me back to high school. Also, yeah, I don't want to come across condescending, but I'm going to echo what people are saying in chat cuz a couple of people are like I really hate that I'm losing so much hair or that I'm bald now or whatever. Um I will say personally, I can't think of a time that I didn't find baldness super attractive. I don't think if any of you are out there being like nobody no nobody likes when you're bald, it's untrue. It's completely untrue. So, embrace it. I know that that's like when you're not given the choice, it's it's probably a very condescending thing to hear, but just FYI from my perspective. Look, yeah, Sam will never be bald, I don't think. He's gonna have a beautiful dark lion's mane of hair with white streaks in it. Wonderful. Is his hair longer than yours? I think mine's longer now. Actually, I'm not sure. Our hair might be around the same length. I do braids in his hair sometimes. I do. I know. And I think like so he like cut all of this down quite a bit. Oh my god, and we also did our face masks. He was like, "What the fuck?" We did so on date night. I got us foot masks and he was like, "I'm vetoing this because he didn't want his feet to be peeling forever," which I get, but like I can think of nothing more satisfying than if our feet were peeling forever, but that's okay. A couple of people were like, "All right, I mean, I guess if you like walking around and then having to vacuum your carpet because there's pieces of dead foot skin all over the place, then sure, do it. I was like, okay, well, that's a really visceral way to make me not want to do it, but I still kind of want to do it. Anyways, it was vetoed. But we had those dark, thick, like, face masks. And I was like, oh my God, we bought these forever ago. We should totally do them. So we did them while we were watching Yasuke, which is a shit show. But anyways, we were watching Yasuke and we did these face masks. And over the last couple of days, I've been like, honestly, my skin looks very good, I think. And Sam was like, oh my God, I wanted to tell you, I was streaming and people in chat were telling me that I was glowing. I was like, amazing. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, but I didn't even mention it, but people kept being like, whoa, your skin looks great. You're glowing. I was like, no way. That's amazing. So, yeah, we did a face mask. We peeled it off. It had all of the, like, it was just like the pictures. It had all of the, like, little whiteheads and things, like, attached to it. It was so gross. And then we did, like, this thick aloe moisturizer. And now we're glowing, I guess. I was like, oh my God, we should do that every couple of weeks. And he was like, I mean, on the box, it says you can do it a couple times a week. I was like, I think that's excessive. But there were definitely, without getting into it too much, there were definitely some things about Yasuke that were really cool. Sam and I wanted more of a historical anime about Yasuke. We didn't want to, like, a bunch of, like, weird, spoiler, I guess, like, mechs and magic and all of that shit that they put in there. We didn't want the story to basically revolve around, like, a magical Japanese girl instead of Yasuke, right? So there was basically all kinds of stuff in there where we were like, this is not what we wanted it to be at all, which is unfortunate. So yeah, we watched all of it, and at the end we were like, okay. But yeah, if you actually want to know about Yasuke, the actual person, there's now, because of the anime, there's now a bunch of stuff online that you can read really easily and find really easily that detail things about his life and what it was actually like, instead of this weird concoction that they made to put on Netflix. Anywho, on that note, I'm gonna wrap up and go be mama. But thank you all very much for hanging out with me today. I didn't get to stream since Tuesday, so it's lovely to come back and do a little stream. We've got a couple things going on tomorrow. We've got Manga Pod. For those of you who didn't see, Lou has stepped down from Manga Pod. He's got a bunch of stuff going on in his life, so he's unable to continue to do it. But we love him, and we're gonna miss him so much. I'm very sad about it, but you know, obviously real life comes first, etc., etc. So send some love to Lou. But we'll be doing Manga Pod. This is why we didn't do Manga Pod last week, but we'll be doing Manga Pod tomorrow for Ping Pong, and then Godforged is tomorrow night. And Godforged has been really good recently, so if you're not caught up or if you've never watched it before, it's a really good D&D show where I play a really chaotic rabbit person, and it's very fun. So yeah, we're probably going to start looking into getting guest hosts on Manga Pod again, because we haven't done that for a while because we had 4 hosts. So anyways, Eric, thank you for the 39 months. Dennis Merritt for the 46. Weirwood for the 31. Andy Thompson for the 3. Happy Zulu for the 6. Dr. Subterfuge for the 15. American Duchess for the 17. Goron for the 14. Kayla for the 19. Malik for the 44. Leisure Wave for the 41. Chase Lazuli for the 26. Zerg Jerk for the 5. Serge for the 10. Biptum for the 3. Tibelius for the 46. Suchi for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Yay! Thank you very much for the support. Lepa for the 65, Zenzia for the 49, Dr. Jazzfist for the 44, Kashel for the 23, Poldy for the 42, Yazpaints for the 26, Danny for the 54, Espoica, thank you for the gifted sub, Simeon Wizard for the 27, Outraging Cat for the 41, Ajax for the 4, Baby Bird's Nest for the 9, Happy Twitch Baby, Freddie CW for the 18, Lex Honey for the 3, Winter Who for the 5, Livitz for the 21, Cineroth for the 33, Smoky Rivers for the 8, Random Lights for the 63, Thoughtful Walrus for the 2 years. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much. Gucciardini, thank you for the gifted sub. Lobster for the 14, Joe Macon for the gifted sub as well. Parade of Laughter for the 14, Shanky Pie, again, welcome to the Cat Gang. Grimstale Reaper for the 50, and for the gifted sub, thank you so much. Obi for the 41, Rudy Patootie for the 6, Hobbsy and Stenot Saint, and this is Nunks, all of you. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Thank you very much for the new subscriptions. Dr. Subterfuge, thank you for all of the gifted subs. I appreciate it. Blue Jay, welcome to the Cat Gang as well. Thank you so much. Sergio for the subscription. Directional Joy for the subscription. All of you, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Directional Joy also for the gifted sub. Thank you so much for that. Lots of new subs all in a row there. I appreciate it, guys. Chase Sarah, thank you for the 18. Shifty Monk for the 53. Yangy Yang for the 19. Minna for the bits. Almaim for the 7th, Almic for the 72, Ori Rocks for the 25, Nerdy Living for the 10, Adam Batter for the 9, Happy Twitch Baby, Kuro Numa for the 6, Stationary Hawk for the 18, Yulnamara for the 8, Lee Scoresby for the 80, gosh dang, Arnar for the gifted sub, thank you so much, Lock HQ, thank you for the biddies, Gooding Splat for the 40, Lenny Dota for the 4, Mr. Maxwell for the 16, Unpaid Satyr for the 75, Lady Arcana for the 4 years, happy anniversary, thank you so much. Grace Me for the 14, Arnar for all of the gifted subs, and Scroats Magoats for the 6. Thank you all very, very much. A couple more Valentine's. Heron Bug said, this is a Valentine to myself. I'm proud, and I'm allowed to celebrate. After being out of work for 6 years because of health stuff, I was offered a job yesterday. Big news, very excited and nervous. Congratulations, that's wonderful. Goron says, hey, you, yes, you're awesome. Be kind to yourself and rock on. And Pyfanity said, this goes out to everyone. You are loved by someone. Very sweet. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Who's stramming right now? Who's stramming? This is my happy song. I like to sing it all day long. I'll teach you the words and you can sing along. Happy, happy, happy. Whoops is doing some Final Fantasy stuff. Want to go say hi to Whoops? Go spread love, spread joy. I'm going to go be mama. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much, all of you, for watching. I'll see you when I see you. Take care, and bye-bye.